What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3D Rivals, your first line of defense against stupid movies. My name is DJ, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, my sister Daphne,
What's up?
and my brother Derek.
What's up?
And today we're going to be talking about the season one, not the season finale. I mean, it's including it, but season one of The Last of Us, HBO original series based off of the video game by Naughty Dog.
Yes.
So we're gonna be diving into how the series went, what we think about it, how it connects to the game, and our overall rating of it. I have barely played any of the game, so as far as game connections go, I'm not gonna be the judge on that. But
I have played and beat the game.
Okay.
I've played it. I have not beaten it.
Well, Daphne does not beat any video games, so
You said
I think all her games be at like 15% complete. She plays like Act one.
It's like such a good game. And then
It's such a good game. Act 1.
I know, but I think about finishing it all the time.
I understand. I have games that I have not finished, and I'm like, man, did I just waste my money by getting this?
I mean, some of them was a waste of money. The last game I bought, I want to say in November, I played like 2 days in a row. I haven't touched it since.
I see. There you go.
So to put this in perspective for our fans, if she was playing Mario Brothers back in the day, she doesn't.
World 1.
No, she didn't complete World 1. It would be like World 1, Stage 3. It's such a good game.
They do be good. I don't know. Video games isn't my thing. It's like I like them and hate them all at the same time.
Yeah. My approach to video games is kind of like when you binge a show. Like, if I'm going to play it, like, I have to set out time, and I know, like, okay, for these set hours, I'm going to play it. So it's like, I play it like I'm binging a TV show.
But I don't finish TV shows either, though.
That explains it.
Yeah.
Finish anything. Alrighty, so let's talk about The Last of Us. So we did discuss the first episode, which we did all enjoy, and thought was interesting. I was upset because at that point in time, I had not.
Oh, you didn't know what was
the
gonna
video
happen.
game.
Oh, so yeah.
I mean, I figured. No, I think I figured she was gonna die, just not the way she did die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
You go through the game thinking the same thing too. Like,
Yeah.
this is not the girl on the cover of the game.
Yeah,
You know the
so
game's
she's
not about
yeah,
her.
that's
Yeah.
exactly. And I was like, well, she's not Ellie, so she's gonna die. And I played the game recently, and still that scene, I'm like, I don't like. I think my reaction while playing it was that I'm like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but we move on from that, and so now we're following Joel and Tess as they're taking Ellie
To the Fireflies.
across the country.
Right, because
Yeah.
Ellie is supposed to be she's immune.
Yes.
And the Fireflies like, hey, take her here so we can get her to some doctors so we can, find a vaccine.
Yeah, which has never been done for fungus. So
Right.
there's something about that.
I have a whole
list about the
page,
Fireflies
just
trying to make a vaccine.
A whole thing. I mean,
Yeah.
you want to
Okay.
go from beginning to end. We just can't jump to that. I mean, we can go beginning to end.
I mean, we probably shouldn't jump. We don't have to go beginning to end.
Oh, okay.
We probably shouldn't jump to that, though.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
That's
All
fine.
right. Let's put that towards the end when we talk about the Fireflies plan, because insert Tony Stark. Not a great plan.
Not a great plan.
So, but anyhow, I want to talk about Joel and Ellie, Pedro Pascal and
Bella Ramsey.
Bella Ramsey. I thought it was good. A lot of people was complaining about Bella Ramsey. I thought she did fine.
Even during the show? I know, like, when they first cast her, people were kind of like, they
I think
didn't know.
A lot of times people want people to look exactly like the character.
I mean, but you can't unless you.
And that was even after like 3 or 4 episodes in. It was like, oh, well, she's acting it good, but she's not like the Ellie in the game.
It's a game. I don't need you
silly.
to.
Pedro Pascal doesn't look like Joel.
No.
But I
No.
don't need you to either,
Right.
though. Like, it's like, do they get the characters correct?
Yeah.
That's the most important part, which is one thing why I think the show works and other adaptations of video games, books, and things don't work so well is that the people who made this show, like, when you, like, if you listen to the podcast and, like, the making of, like, they have a passion for this.
Mm-hmm.
They had a passion for the game and had a passion to make sure that it was put on screen correctly.
Right.
So in that case, it's like they looked really hard to find the perfect Joel, the perfect Ellie, Tess, and whatever. It wasn't about like, oh, he doesn't look. It's not like the guy was like 5'2" and skinny or something. Then I have a problem.
Right. Yeah.
But they don't have to look exactly like those characters if they get the essence of those characters correct.
Yeah. And the voice actors that played characters in the show also said that they didn't want to take part of the show if it wasn't going to be a close adaptation of the game.
Yeah,
And they would say because that it was, they was like, yeah, they're all in. They wanted to be a part of it because they had so much fun doing the video game.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of silly on people because, like, the actress that voiced Ellie in the game, or whoever they based her likeness off of, is likely not.
But they didn't base the actress who voiced Ellie plays
Does not look
Ellie's
like her.
mom
Yeah.
Okay.
in the last episode. That's the voice.
And
of
she
Ellie
doesn't
in the
look
game.
like Ellie in the game.
She doesn't
either.
look like Ellie at all.
Yeah, and that it's not always the case.
Yeah, that's not always the case. Like, you don't have the voice actor doesn't have to like the character. The character doesn't look like the voice actor. But one thing about that is that what they did do is they put some of the person, I think her name is Ashley Johnson, I believe, who does the voice of Ellie. They put some of her personality into Ellie in the video game.
Yeah.
And that's the important part. Not like, oh, they don't look like it's a kid. You can like really, it doesn't matter so much whether or not Bella Ramsey looks like Ellie or not.
Yeah.
It's whether or not she conveys this character correctly.
Yeah.
And I think that's why everyone's so, because they knew it's just like, they're asking the voice actress, like, hey, what do you think of Bella Ramsey? And she's like, I seen it and thought like, yes, that's Ellie.
Yeah. One thing that surprised me about this show, and I'm gonna switch gears a little bit. One thing that surprised me about the show was when I initially going into it, I'm like, okay, so this is a fungus thing that turns people into crazy fungi monsters, right? And I thought the show was just gonna be that, but now I get why the game has so much praise, and I'm kind of excited to play through the game, because it's not that.
No, it's a story-driven game, which makes it that much more compelling because you get attached to the characters. Like you said,
do.
like from the opening scene is you don't want to see Joel's daughter die. You know something's going to happen to her, and you're just like, well, when is it going to happen? And when it does, and how it does, you're like, oh,
all right, they
man.
do that a lot because, like, in the mall scene, the entire episode, I have like this tenseness about me because I'm like, all right, so when is this going to happen? And I'm like,
yeah, right. So now it's just two girls enjoying themselves and joining a night out, and you're just like, something bad is going to happen to them.
Yeah.
And then even after they showed the infected person,
it
still didn't happen right away.
Yeah.
Like another 20 minutes went by.
Yeah.
Where I almost forgot that he was there. Then when like she ran to leave her, I'm like, oh no, she gonna run into it.
Yeah.
Nope.
Then her friend was screaming, and I'm like, oh, that's it. She's being attacked. Nope. I'm like, all right. So they do that a few times.
They do, and you're right. Like, and I was gonna bring that up is that for a movie for a show that's about these things, is that there really wasn't a ton of infected people in it.
No, that was a complaint to a lot of fans.
But
it
would be a complaint if the show was bad.
Right.
But the show was good.
It was good. Yeah.
Like, I mean, if they had more, I would have been fine with that.
Yeah.
But I was fine with the amount that it had because the story was so compelling.
Yeah.
It didn't
I felt
really
like
matter.
they were also trying to get away from like The Walking Dead and stuff like that.
That and, for this being the first foray, they wanted to make sure that was correct.
Yeah.
And they already said, like, the second season, you will see more of that. Because now, just like, now we know how to do it. We know how to put this on correctly.
Yeah.
So So like this
I mean,
time,
I feel like what we got was creepy enough. I don't know.
it is, but I mean, but you know, it's like
Yeah.
I was thinking that like I was surprised we didn't get more of that because if you play the game, there are still certain scenes that they could have added into the show without really taking away from it.
Yeah.
Like when she's with David and they're
Yeah.
like waiting for James to come back, they could have added all of that in.
Yeah.
Would have fit in perfectly because now she trusts David, right? Because they fought together,
Yeah.
and then you find out later he's a crazy cannibalistic cult leader. But you know,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that one. Yeah, I saw that episode today. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
am I? Okay.
yeah.
Um, yeah, it was interesting. The people that we met the antagonists, for each like section of the show. Um, it was interesting their motivations,
Yep.
and just their reasoning. Although Kathleen,
Yeah.
she was.
And she was a made up character too.
I was like, huh. It's funny because obviously she's intimidating to everyone else, but like
Yeah.
her actions doesn't make her intimidating. It's just that she's willing to do
Yeah.
stuff. I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
this is an interesting character, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm like, girl, I don't.
Yeah.
So with Kathleen, I guess we'll talk about that section. Did we skip over one? We skipped over Bill and
Bill and Frank.
Bill and Frank.
Basically, if you sum it, basically, I feel like that letter he left Joel to me was saying like, don't be afraid to love.
Yeah. 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 And the spin on it from the show, from the game, is Bill and Frank relationship ended with them hating each other.
Oh, okay.
And in the show they didn't
They didn't
let it go to that route. But yeah, so on the game you find out that Bill gets infected, but so he won't turn, he killed himself. But he leaves a mean letter to Frank, basically like, I'm happy to do this and I hope you get infected and you die miserably. So it was like, yeah, they ended on bad terms.
I think I do like the
Yeah, so
route better.
the show route made it more touching, more caring of the characters. Whereas in the video game, you just know Frank as this dude that's out shooting and blowing up everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we get that. That's how they get their truck, and then they move forward, and then we get to Kathleen from
We
there.
get to Kathleen, right? Because they end up in Kansas City. They get attacked by Kathleen's crew.
To be honest, the people seem more dangerous than the infected to me. Like,
and that's the premise of that's what you see in the game too.
So I was gonna wait to bring that up because we're talking about whether or not Joel's decision doomed humanity. And I was going to actually add it. But I say no because honestly, if so many people weren't on power trips,
Yep.
you guys might be better off.
So I guess it's a problem with the government failing and the infrastructure falling. So then everybody is just doing their own thing. And then there's no worldwide community anymore, which I think changes things too.
Yeah. But just like if one person be normal sauce. Just if one person acts normal, it's like you had Fedra and the Fireflies and Kathleen's crew and then the crazy cult guy.
Yeah.
And then
Tommy's group seemed all right.
But see, that's what I'm saying. But then you get the Tommy's group and you're like, oh, this is what normal people act like.
Yeah.
This is how you survive this because it's not like it's not survivable, right? This is 20 years later.
Yeah.
20 years later, you guys could have functioned as a normal society.
Yeah.
But everyone went out there as every man for themselves.
True. And I think what we learned from, I guess we're skipping ahead to Tommy's little place. We'll jump back to Kathleen in a second. Yeah. But what you see from that is like, yeah, it makes sense. The affected wouldn't be just everywhere. It was spread easily, like it did.
Yeah.
But once you get out away from where people were, where's it going? That particular fungus, the way it seemed to mutate, it needs a host, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think even now it needs a host, so it's not spreading.
Right, yeah, because it had to bite you, right? So it had to basically attach itself to you to spread to the next source. Yeah. Unlike in a game, because in a game, they produce spores and you can
Yeah.
breathe it in. So since the show got rid of that aspect of it,
Mm-hmm.
it was basically you could avoid getting infected.
Yeah, because you even had the scene of the older couple that was out in the middle of nowhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like, as long as we stay here, we don't have a problem with
Right.
anything.
And but their problem was running into, but then you have raiders and all of this, and it's
Yeah.
just like you guys are killing yourselves.
Yep.
And then it also made me wonder too, is like, okay, after the initial thing and everything happened, couldn't someone go back? Cause like in Kansas City, it's like, oh, we locked them in the tunnels. You didn't have no problem blowing up the city before. Blow up the tunnels. These things aren't
Yeah.
hard to kill.
Yeah, because you're not using the tunnels.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fungus. I figure fire is probably
Well,
the best
that's what
way
I'm
to
saying.
defeat it.
But-
I did flamethrowers, people. Let's get
Just
some.
what I'm saying is, I
Yeah.
just wonder if there was no one logically that says, okay, right, after a few years, we got the quarantine zone. People, they're doing their thing, right? And it's like, oh, we push them to the tunnels, or we push them into the mall and we just locked up the mall. Then destroy the mall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like you guys could have.
Yeah. Well, I think Joe even said it on the last episode where it says he was like, it's crazy how the government comes in and bombs the city, but nothing happens to the attended building that is the cause of the infection. Because he said that about the building that they were in.
Well, not because the building they were in was supposed to be
It was
demolished,
supposed to be demolished, but the bombs missed.
but the
all that
bomb
building.
missed the building. Yeah. So so that's different. But my thing is, I just felt like, could you guys have been better off if anyone with half of a brain, a thought of, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. But I mean, that's common in real life though. Instantly
Apparently.
when there's an issue for survival, instantly people is like every man for themselves.
How
I'm
about we
only
work
thinking about
together?
me.
I don't get what people's aversion to working together is in the world nowadays, but it seems to be that
You
works best for
accomplish-
people.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It would seem to be that's how people got to where we are right now,
Yeah.
by working together. So, yeah, I don't know, idiots. But okay, Kathleen. So they overthrow Fedra. Understandably, Fedra's horrible. Okay.
Okay,
cool,
but then
cool.
she's worse.
She is
kind of
worse.
worse. So she just killed everybody that was snitches for
Fedra.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
better. Yeah. But then my thing is, like, you say that, and then you immediately, okay, so you're gonna hunt down Henry and his little brother,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is insane. And then
She's set on killing the little brother too. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Okay, the kid that survived leukemia, great job, Kathleen.
yeah, like, I mean, I have no sympathy for you. Just like, I get that you're mad that, okay, people are ratting people out to Federal. I guess anyone who leaves the quarantine zone or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
basically they were telling on
and
him.
Henry
Yeah.
ratted out her brother.
Right, I
Okay.
get you're mad at
But
Henry.
he did it so he can get medicine for his little brother. And you deserve to be mad.
Yes.
But you have to have an ounce of empathy in there too. Like
Yeah.
you have to understand what the situation was.
Well,
Right?
her
He didn't do it
anger-
for money. He didn't
Yeah.
even do it for food or anything.
Right. Right. So it's just like, okay, I get that you're mad. I would even say, like, okay, you can go out to Henry or whatever, but what you did, you didn't kill everyone.
Yeah, she
Mhm.
killed everybody.
Everyone.
Everybody,
And then
man.
even when you ran into Ellie and Joel, you just assume, oh, they must be a part of it. I'm going to kill them too.
I'm like,
Yeah.
they're with Henry. I'm like, you haven't even met them.
yeah.
Also, throughout this show, a lot of these antagonists, I'm like, what a bunch of hypocrites
Mhm.
you are.
Yes.
Because they're always mad that their person was killed by Ellie and Joel. And I'm like, but they were trying to kill them.
Yeah.
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 Right? Joel didn't just hop up behind somebody and stab him in the back of the head.
Yeah.
It was like you were trying to kill them
Yeah.
and they got the best of you. And so now we're mad.
Yeah.
You killed my brother who
Like,
was trying
who was
to kill
killing
me.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess it's all right you're trying to kill me. He was already trying to do that. So what's the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they did that a lot. So it was the same there. So they're also mad that
Mhm.
Ellie or Joel killed the guy. Forget his name. Eric, whatever.
I don't think it was Eric, but yeah.
And so that's another reason why they want them dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they
Um,
started shooting at them
right.
Yeah, immediately, right? Yeah, they immediately
because they wanted to rob them
exactly.
for whatever they had.
So, yeah.
And it was the same thing with the crazy cult guy. Everybody's gung ho about uh killing Joel because
He killed, right. Not saying that he sent them people out to hunt for men.
Yeah.
yeah, because
Yeah.
he said they were hunting for food or whatever, and it
Yeah.
turns out, yeah, they were gonna kill them so they can eat them.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, because you think like when they came in there, they immediately attacked Joel and Ellie. Just no question.
Yeah.
Like they attacked them. Like
Yeah.
they were going to bring them back for food. And what this episode didn't show that's in the game, which I think would have like brought it home a little quicker, was Ellie sees like strung up people, like how a slaughterhouse swings up a cow
Joel
or
saw
Joel
it.
saw it on the show.
oh okay
Sure.
yeah, and it's just
Yeah.
like oh that's crazy.
Yeah, Joel saw it.
Oh okay.
Yeah. When he saw, because they brought the horse in, and
Yeah.
he saw that, and then there were some people strung up, like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you bleed an animal out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like oh so y'all just went out finding people to eat.
Okay. There's still animals around. I'm like, y'all struggling that hard. Where were they?
No, they weren't. See, that's to
Yeah.
me the crazy thing about David. Like, remember David was like everything happens for a reason.
Mhm.
He was a crazy psychopath before
Before-
this happened.
yes.
And the I don't want to call it a pandemic or whatever, but that allowed him to basically enhance what he was already doing.
Yeah.
Well, he
Yeah,
was already
Yeah.
there was no need
Yeah.
to
And because
hunt and eat people.
basically what he is doing is that he slowly moved them further and further out, isolating them from the rest of the because Joe's like, this is an interesting location you chose.
Yeah.
Basically he made it where it feels like they're in so dire straits there's nothing else. Like he did that.
Yeah.
That was his plan from the get-go. Like he used the fungus as an opportunity to prey on more people that he probably didn't have a chance to do the first time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, for him, it was like the cordyceps shows love.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, okay, it's a fun
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah,
Because
so
it's for, you
that just
know-
allowed him to go further deep into his cultdom. But it's like you guys can't hunt. Your group wasn't that big.
Yeah, I was like, there's gotta be enough animal. I don't know, like there's
Yeah.
deer everywhere in the
Yeah,
US.
but like you move them
And
further.
he brought that one deer in. They did not cut it up or slaughter it or nothing. He just brought it in to allay to the people like we are hunting and eating deer.
Yeah. So I just think he brought them further and further out to a more desolate area. Right? Like think about it, like why can they do what Tommy and his crew did, right? You
They
got
should have been able to
farms
do that,
and
yeah.
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 Nope, he would have
Yeah.
them exactly where he wanted them.
Yeah. And he was the sole control over the whole group.
It was an interesting episode. Again with him, so the little place is on fire, right?
Oh,
he's
yeah,
fighting
he's-
Ellie. He gets the best of her because she's what 14.
Yeah.
Okay, and so I'm like, so you're just gonna right here in this burning building, huh? You're just gonna just
Sociopath.
while everything's burning down. Okay, wow. Okay,
He's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah. Very by the means of the word predator.
Yeah, jeez. I was like, okay. Well, but she gets out of that, which is great.
That was crazy too.
So we didn't finish up with Henry and Sam.
Which they are in the game.
Okay. First of all, what's up with there's so many fungi people under the ground that they like are moving the ground
Oh
underneath them?
yeah,
Yeah. I was
I'm
like,
like-
there's a lot of you.
Because at first, when like they show the little crater,
Mhm.
and then like it starts moving a bit, and then they're like scared and they close the door. I thought it was like, oh man, it must be like a really big one or something. I don't.
Yeah, like
you
it's
know?
like was it the bloater or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
I
like,
thought that was
okay.
down there too.
yeah,
But-
it was.
That brings me back to a thing again. It's like you just closed the door. I don't know.
Man,
Set it on
Set
fire.
it on fire. Like
Yes.
the original Federal was
I
like,
would set up a perimeter around that whole area Cause I'm like, you set on fire, you're gonna get ones that's gonna start running out.
Yes, and
Like
then
the
you can
explosion.
And you
shoot
shoot them.
them.
Yeah.
They're not
I
hard to kill.
I will. I'm telling you, I'm putting up a wall, a brick wall, because they're not running through a brick wall. Because apparently they can't get through the cement
But see,
concrete
that's my
barrier.
point. Is right that
And then
you have the QZ, right?
yes,
And then it's like, oh, they just locked them all in there. So they drove them underground and just locked them in there. You drove them underground, blow it up.
yes,
Also, with these QZs, how about we slowly expand them?
Exactly. My thought this today, the entire day, I was like, dude, just slowly make the walls go out further
Wider
and
and wider,
further out.
and we take out all of the
Exactly.
infected that we find and stuff. You have a little test that they
Age
did
of the
in the
Empire.
first episode.
Made me think of
Basically,
Age of the Empire.
You just
Yeah.
slowly just make your zone bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Insane.
You find little pieces of fungi on the ground, you burn it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
just insane. You guys denied it.
That's how they beat him in the second episode when Tess died.
Yeah.
He's like, y'all just blow them up
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they're people.
Yeah.
Yes.
So basically, it's like they're like, oh man, they're breaking out the ground. Let's just close the door. Just what? You gonna tell the crew? Nah. What?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, why not?
Why not tell them? We just leave
No,
them there?
we need to get Henry first.
And
Seriously.
that's why they died.
That's why you're all dead.
Yeah.
So Sam gets bitten.
Yeah, that was sad.
I was thinking that whole time because they're in that room, and I'm like, none of y'all got bitten because y'all were getting like some pretty hardly attacked under that car, like
Yeah.
you know. And so he did. I'm like, Ellie, it's not how it works.
Yeah.
The kid logic, though, right?
Yeah,
She's
it is
like,
the
I
kid
was
She's
just
like, I'm immune. I'm gonna rub my blood on your bite wound, and that's gonna cure you, right? I'm like, no.
Hey, ain't that how She-Hulk turned into She-Hulk
Yeah,
in the
that's comic
show?
book logic.
I'm just saying, if
That
it
is
works for
comic
a
book
TV show.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
But no, but I did feel like, dang, because he's afraid, because he's like, what is like, if you turn into a monster, are you still you inside?
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh,
apparently they are. Like I think both game lore and what scientists currently think about the cordyceps fungus is because it doesn't actually take over the brain. A lot of it is just controlling the muscles of the animal.
Mm-hmm.
So
You are
the
still
host is still there, which
That's
sucks
worse.
even
Yeah.
more.
So
Yeah.
you're watching yourself just kill and infect
Yeah.
other people.
Oh, that's
Mhm.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sucks. It's way
That's
worse.
torturous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then even like when they start like getting taken over and like they're grown into the wall. So like
Yeah.
when they were searching
One
the
of us
house.
hurt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Extremely painful and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's keeping you alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I imagine like the nutrients and stuff you need, the fungus is probably
Mm-hmm.
sharing that with you
Mhm.
because it needs the host to be alive.
Yeah.
That sucks.
So you're basically dying a slow death after you killed and
I
infect
think that's
a
why
bunch
a
of people.
lot of people, when they have a choice, they kill
They kill
themselves.
themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. It's better than turning into a monster.
Yeah.
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 I'm like, yeah, just kill me. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yep, just kill me.
All right. So yeah, Sam of course is infected still, and he starts attacking Ellie, and then Henry has to shoot him. And which
Yeah.
y'all say that's sad. There's like a lot of like sad parts in,
Mhm.
in this show. I'm like, God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sucks. And then Henry then shoots himself because he killed his little brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see you making a decision too.
Yeah.
Like how messed up. My thing is you fight so hard
To keep him alive.
to keep him alive. And just when you're
takes
just
one little thing.
you're like so close to getting out
Mm-hmm.
and you can't protect them. Not only can you not protect them, you have to kill them.
Yeah.
Right.
That's messed up.
Yeah. Because it's either kill or be killed.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
you have to kill them.
Yeah.
That sucks. So, okay, so we go from there. So after Henry and Sam, that's when they found Tommy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So we talked about it a little bit. This was a good place they had set up. Like
Mhm.
everything was shared. They had farms set up. They got the dam working, so they had
Power
power
and
and stuff.
water.
I'm like, that
Yeah.
was a good community.
Hmm.
And I mean, I don't blame them for because the old couple that we talked about, they're like, it's just death out there.
Yeah.
And I
Mhm.
guess it's because they killed anyone that wasn't honest with them.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, they're very selective on who gets to, which I get considering how many
Yeah.
crazies
Yeah.
we have seen in
Yeah,
this show.
and the Ravagers,
Yeah.
like yeah,
Yeah, you have to be selective on who you can let in.
yeah, and the Fireflies,
right.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, although it does is like, yeah, they kill people, but then again, apparently that's what Tommy and Joel did. So
Well,
yeah,
apparently they used to raid people too. So
yeah.
I was
Mhm.
like, that sucks, guys. Don't do that.
yeah,
Yeah, apparently they weren't nice guys.
I was okay with you stealing things. um, but yeah, so Tommy's having a kid. And, we'll get he is married.
Yeah, he's married
Yes.
to
He is
Maria.
married to
Yeah.
Maria. Nice place. They got movies.
Yeah.
So it was a good
Mhm.
idea, man. That's what
Education
you
for the
should-
kids.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a regular society.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Except for no new movies, man. What are we doing? That sucks.
Yeah, yeah. There's no new movies being made.
Well, there's a bunch of movies out there. You won't
It's
see
true.
them all. You're just gonna have to go back to your
Starting in 1920s. And
yeah, you're Gone
go
with
from
the
there.
Winds and Casablanca. I hear they're good movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um. So from there, so we get a little bit of. I don't even know what to talk about because, like, you see Joel and Ellie's relationship grow. First, Joel is kind of standoffish, but
Mhm.
like you could tell that more and more she's like a daughter to him
Yeah.
Yeah.
as time goes on.
Yeah.
And I mean, it does take life altering, almost dying, when you do take appreciation of the person that's taking care of you.
Yeah.
Well, I think she gets more attached to him before he gets attached to her, which is understandable
Yeah.
because she's never had anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing about the episode with Tommy is that, he was going to send her with Tommy because he's like, I can't protect you. Like their entire time, all this traveling,
Mm-hmm.
they're constantly getting attacked. He's constantly having to save her. And
Yeah.
he's just like, I'm failing at this.
I don't know, man. He got her there. It wasn't.
I mean,
failing.
he did, but it's just, because basically his point is he's afraid he's going to lose her like he lost his daughter
Yeah.
Right.
because he couldn't protect his daughter.
Yeah.
And it basically says at some point we're gonna fight and lose, which they do, really.
Mm-hmm.
Because when they finally get to where the Fireflies were supposed to be again, they weren't there, and they get attacked by David's men.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right, and Ellie is alone because Joel got severely injured in that fight.
Yeah. Yeah. So he gets injured. Hey, props to Ellie for surviving during that time and hunting. She gets the penicillin. I'm like, find a vein, please. But I guess inject it directly into
Well,
the wound.
I was thinking like, will that work? But antibiotics are different because think about it. It can
Yeah.
be topical. You can take it by mouth. So I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
guess it's not the worst thing.
It's in there. He's gotten it. It would have been better if you put it in his bloodstream.
It would have, but I was just
Yeah.
like, well,
But the thing is, that goes back to how she was with the little boy. So it's just like, put it in directly
well, she said
in.
she didn't know where to do it,
Yeah.
and I mean, my logic would be, hey, this is the part that's infected. This is the part I'm going to
Yeah.
shoot up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine, it's not
It
the best
works.
location.
It works eventually. It probably would have been faster another way. I don't know. He poured antibiotics probably into his intestine or something. uh, but yeah, or penicillin, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Joel has to save her now because she does get kidnapped. And oof, man, he was ruthless with those people.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah. I think you see like that, and then what happens at the hospital. I think you see who Joel was before,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and then also kind
All
of
right,
like
the hospital. I'm like, y'all just can't shoot. There's one guy here.
I know.
Yeah,
I
is
was
he
like, that's
standing
always the
in
hero
hall?
trope, though. Because it was like, it's 5 people shooting at him, and he's standing in the middle. popping one of them off at a time. I'm like,
I wish the game was like that. I could have sworn I hit somebody and then they like ducked down and got back. I'm like, I hit you. I know I did. I saw the effects.
such a superhero trope.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's just that good.
Yeah.
It's always like that in shooting
Of
scenes.
course.
The heroes just stand in the middle with their guns and they shoot and
Okay,
hit everybody
but-
the first time.
We know that can happen in real life.
Yeah. That can it can.
It can.
And I'm guessing the Fireflies aren't well trained. So.
Exactly.
All right.
Okay.
It's good we're talking about the hospital because that was right after David's crazy cult
Yeah.
cannibal community.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about their plan. So this whole time we're trying to get Ellie there because she's immune ish to cordyceps.
Yes.
And so they want to, use her to figure out the cure for other people.
Mm-hmm.
That point makes sense, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yes, it does. When we get there, they're like, we're going to extract the cordyceps that was with her because we find out that her mom got bit while she was pregnant with Ellie.
Yes.
So she had it since birth. It just never,
Right.
Manifest
as her being overtaken by it. So basically her body has a kind of symbiosis, I guess.
Yeah. Basically her body is saying that she's already a cordyceps.
Yeah.
Right. So they don't need to infect her.
Yeah.
Well, her body's saying like, "Oh, you already got this. We don't need it anymore." So you're
yeah. So it doesn't grow because it's it can't grow in itself. So it's like, oh well, okay.
Yeah.
Fungus don't think. So so yes, but cordyceps grows in the brain, meaning they want to take her brain out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This fails for several reasons. So one, you're gonna kill Ellie, which obviously Joel's not okay with.
Yes.
As
Two,
no one should be okay with.
no one should be okay with. I'm gonna point this out first before we get to the other failings of this.
Mm-hmm.
If you kill your one immune subject,
Yes.
how will you continue? What if the research you do fails?
Yes.
Then it fails.
Then you're done.
You're
like
done.
this stupid. You're just like, yes, we're gonna take it out, and then all of a sudden we'll have a cure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because what he lies to her at the end where it says they ran a bunch of tests, that's what they should have done. Just run a bunch of tests first to see
I'm
what
saying
could be
is, like,
done.
You guys is like, there's like the doctors think this. Well, first of all, you didn't examine her. Where's your MRI? Where is it? Like, you studied this on monkeys or whatever, but you never. Basically, they should have. Marlene knows how Ellie is immune, so why didn't you recreate that? Get a bunch of monkeys pregnant, bite them, and then see what happens to those monkey babies.
Right.
I mean, it's not. You have to recreate how she became immune.
Yeah.
And
To
then
figure
see what
it out.
happens after that.
Yeah. And
So-
then alone, like you said, like do an MRI, X-rays, like
A spinal tap. I mean, it's invasive, but
There's
Yeah.
1,000 things.
like
they
is
could have
it
done.
in her bloodstream?
examine the
You
bite
know-
that she has on her
Yeah.
arm.
Is it like just a small thing of cordyceps, but because is recognizing
you can't just
it?
go with the original one that's in her brain. Like, why isn't the one that was on her arm? Why is that not spreading? So maybe you need to examine that area. What's happening with that?
That was my first
What's
thought.
what's
Yeah.
her body's response to it?
Yeah, like my thing is, you have a living host. There's so much information you can gather from that living host, and your solution was, let's just chop her brain off.
I mean,
And then what?
and then it was like it almost would have been better. Also cruel still,
Mm-hmm.
but better to like, okay, let's re-expose her to the cordyceps and see how her body
Yes.
reacts and what happens there. Like, there's so much research you need to do. You can't just take the brain out
Yeah.
and then be like, yeah, we're going to find a cure from that.
Yeah, like how are you going to do this? First of all, you have one doctor with a bachelor's degree in biology. You're not an expert in this field.
Obviously.
Like, so what are you doing? You in that rusty hospital. And like, so even if you manage to get a vaccine or a cure for this, how exactly were you going to mass produce this thing?
Yes.
And then like you killed your only immune person, so you can't go back.
Mm-hmm.
Just it doesn't make any sense. My thing is
Right, because just having something doesn't mean it works. There's a reason why vaccines take a while to be created anyway for viruses. like we'll go with COVID-19. We already have vaccines for COVID viruses, but
Exactly.
you needed to get one for COVID-19, and it takes a while because you have to try different
And
things
Yes.
with
that
it.
was a thing that doctors around the world knew something about,
Yeah.
right? They're familiar with the coronavirus,
Yeah.
but this one was different. So they
Yes.
had to do something different for that one. So my thing is, this is different. You're going to do something different. And this guy, like, dude, you're not a fungus expert.
Yeah. And then look at how many tests were ran with COVID-19.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
this one thing, like, where's your panel of
So
doctors?
many tests. Yeah.
Like, where's the where you guys can go? First of all, a doctor will never say, let's just kill this person for their brain. Like, a doctor will never agree. They're not
No.
doing it.
No.
It's not.
They'll
gonna
study your
happen.
brain afterwards.
So if
if
they
you died.
because I guess it's supposed to be a moral dilemma,
But it's not.
But Joel is right, because if they did take her brain out, they would not have come up with a cure, not
They
a
wouldn't.
working one, because one, we've never made a vaccine for a fungus. So, do you know what you need to do?
I would have examined her arm first, to be honest.
I would have, look, it may be cruel, but I would have poked and prodded that girl to no end.
Yeah,
Like that
Yeah.
would be messed up. But this
Yeah,
is,
I'm like, it would have been messed up because it was on a borderline of torture, but
it's
yeah,
just like, I would have
it's
taken
better than cutting
gallons
her brain
of blood
off.
from
you've
you
got to
every
take
day.
her blood, skin samples,
Saliva,
stuff.
just
Yeah, like,
everything. Dude, you could even did a biopsy if you wanted to. Just anything about what you guys went to the very last resort as your first option. It doesn't make any sense. Your plan was never going to work. And I don't care what the showrunners say or what the video games writers.
Video game, right?
No, it makes no sense. It wasn't going to happen. And like, it's not like, I've seen like a lot of things on the internet were like, was Joel right? Yes, he was right.
When you really think about it, he was, because
There's-
no, that's not. There's like I said, even if it was an easy way to create a vaccine from her brain, if you kill the only immune person that you've met, which is odd for something that spreads, usually there's a percentage of people that's immune
Mhm.
naturally without
Yes.
having to be bitten while your mom's pregnant.
Yes.
If you kill the only one that's immune, how can you understand how she's immune?
Exactly. You need to understand that first.
Mm-hmm.
Just all you guys, that's because you got one guy who probably didn't even really finish. No, he didn't finish medical school because he only got his bachelor's degree. Well, like, he didn't do his whole full residence.
And everything is based off of hypotheticals.
Yeah.
So it was like they could have did all this, and like y'all was saying,
You could,
it still didn't work. So now she died for nothing.
Yeah, like, I don't care. Like, she would have died for nothing because you were not going to save the world with your plan. Wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
And it's just absolutely not. And then the thing is
and then you're not going to cure already infected, so you still have an issue with that.
so yeah. So how do you give it to all of the non-infected people?
Because they kill people. Like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
like it's not just them spreading. It spreads, but they usually like are very violent and kill
Yeah.
people. So like, there's still a problem there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're right. Like,
Because a lot of time people, the person died before they
before
even
it
get
even
infected.
exactly right because they're attacking you.
Yeah. Because it's a fungus, so
Right.
it's just
So it's like, is you survive the attack, like how Ellie and Riley did in the mall. They survived the attack.
Now
Now
running
you have the
infected.
consequences of that attack.
yeah.
Like, how are you doing this? You can't get the people back. Once they're infected, they're gone.
Yeah.
So there's nothing to cure them. So what you're saying is that if you survive your attack, we're gonna make it so a way where you don't turn.
Mhm.
Well, which is that's the point of vaccines. That's what vaccines do.
But
now, right?
here's my thing.
But
That's pointless because they already shown that you can avoid getting infected.
yeah.
Yeah. They should have took the I'm Legend approach.
What was
The
that?
what?
On I'm Legend, he took an affected person and was
Oh,
running
it
tests
developed
on the
in-
affected
Well,
person.
he was actually curing the infected person.
Yeah.
I don't know, like with people infected with this, if you get rid of the fun, it would have to be early on
Yeah.
in order for that to work.
But they turn so fast.
yeah,
They do.
Yeah, and in a matter of hours, you're gone.
Because I was thinking that. I was like, why don't you study an affected person?
But they did
you're
that.
right. You're right.
They did that and
It
couldn't
happens
come
so
up with anything.
rapidly.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, like
it's either going to kill you.
that they study infected people,
Yeah.
and that hasn't worked.
Oh, yeah. Episode
Yeah.
2 or 3. Yeah.
But my thing is just, you guys are dumb. Just dumb. So yeah, and my thing is,
Wait. But in that episode, they shot the lady, and that's how they got the lady who specialized in fungus to come in and examine the body.
Yeah.
Why they couldn't do that with an affected person and run tests?
They have. It didn't result in
They
anything.
couldn't
Oh,
find
okay.
a cure from
You
it.
can't find a cure for it.
Okay.
That's why they
What
needed.
you
So
need
you
to
need a
do
live
is
host.
figure out
No,
what's
you
in
need
Ellie's
Ellie
body.
because Ellie doesn't turn.
Yeah, you need to
Okay.
figure out what's in Ellie's body that stops her from turning. Which,
Yeah.
like, they're likely right that it is the cordyceps
Because
sending
it attaches
chemical
itself
signal.
to your brainstem. That is correct. But my thing is, before you take her brain out, there's other ways to study the brain.
Yeah. Now, this is not canon, but I'm going to go off of the game theory.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt Pat mentioned that she likely has another form of cordyceps. Now, the way they did in the show, that doesn't make sense. It would be the same one. But there is a cordyceps fungus now
Mm-hmm.
that is used as an anti-fungus.
Mm-hmm.
So likely that's what's happening when she was infected as an infant. It basically, instead of turning her into a fungus, it is acting as an antifungus, which you just need to see what chemical her body is producing.
Which is why you run tests. My thing is, like, you didn't take any blood. Like, you said, like, oh, our old test didn't work. Well, you weren't working with someone who got infected and survived.
You could still take fluid from the brain without.
Well,
chemical.
I'm saying is like, yes,
Yeah.
but there's other things like
Yeah.
blood tests to find out what's going on in there. You know, it's like my thing is take her blood, run it through the machines, create a medicine, inject it to monkey, see what happens. Nothing, okay, we'll try something else. My thing is do a million things before you kill your one and only.
Also,
immune.
fireflies, tell some other people. They're acting like you can't talk to anybody or whatever.
Yeah.
No one has met an immune person.
Exactly.
Right?
Like,
Right.
why is the
You
CDC
don't have
not
to.
involved?
You don't
in
have
this?
to put them. I guess the CDC don't exist anymore. 20 years
I
later.
love how when these things, all the important people are dead, the CDC is gone, no one can run a
Government's
power
just
plant.
falling apart.
The government is no longer there.
Just, I don't understand.
Across the world,
all of our farmers
no
must be
government
dead.
exists.
I don't
yeah.
understand, right? The people who
It's
paved
always
roads
like
don't
no
exist
matter
anymore.
what show or movie it is, it's always like this, and then it always devolves into some fascist controlling thing, and I'm like, why? But I don't know. Maybe that's how people will be.
Probably.
So you don't have to put Ellie in front of these people, but you can get into contact with people like, hey, we have an immune person. We need to get all of the remaining scientists. Is there any whatever you call the fungus people to study? I forgot the name of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, those people who are an expert in this thing. That's what I'm saying. That there should be a panel of doctors deciding on what the best course of action is. Right? They will have the best knowledge on how to do this, the best way to determine if you can develop a cure or a vaccine for this. They'll be how we get it out to people.
Yeah, and
How do
then
we
like
do
how
this?
many people would stand behind that, right? Because
Yes.
out of all the people as crazy as they're acting, a cure I
Right.
think could rally people together.
But my thing is, would I trust the Fireflies with it?
No.
Think of the number of people that they've killed.
Yeah. They would just use it for themselves.
Exactly. Like, I highly doubt that this group is like, hey, guys, we're going to save humanity. No, they're not.
Oh, and another test too. Like, okay, you come up with quote unquote like a vaccine or whatever, but you have to test it to make sure that it works on them and not turn them into it.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
Whatever form of the fungus that Ellie has, everybody needs to. That's going to have to be the new norm for humans. So you
Yeah.
you have to
Yeah.
give people that.
Yes.
but they did nothing. No experiments. No
You could have
nothing.
tried that. Now this would require surgery on her brain, which I would need more of.
Well, more than that guy.
More
for
than a
sure.
bachelor's degree for. But you could have taken a piece of the
I was
fungus.
saying you could do a biopsy.
Yeah.
on her.
Yes.
And
Without
I mean,
killing
if that
Without
fungus is
killing
still alive in her, you can get cultures from it, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
And then you can, like you said, let's grab some monkeys. I'm sorry, environmentalists out here in this situation. I think we need to experiment on monkeys. And see what it's like if you infect them with it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, Marlene, you know how this happened. Recreate everything that happened with Ellie with these monkeys, right?
Yeah.
See how that goes, right? You do a couple of biopsies on her. You got this. Look, it's going to have to be monkeys. I'm sorry, but you know what? You're not testing it on humans, so
Yeah, Firefly's
And
probably
then
good.
let's come up with an idea to get rid of the ones that are infected. Let's
Oh
let's
yeah, I had the perfect idea with that fire.
yeah, yeah.
You know what? You know what? We don't allow this because it's very cruel. But for this, we could napalm. They will burn to death with it.
Mhm.
It will not stop. So
yeah.
maybe
Keep
we get
burning.
some napalm and use that on the infected.
Yeah.
I'm sure they will die.
I'm not sure it need to be. I mean, just regular
No, no,
fire.
I need to make sure it sticks to them and they die. I don't want no infected
Yeah.
figuring
Or
out
kind
how
of
to
like how
stop,
you
drop, and
do,
roll.
kind of how like you do with insects. Like you get like the kind where they take it back
Oh,
to the rest of them, so it kill all of them. So yeah, you got to hit
You
them
could
with
do that.
something where like it kills all the infected.
Yeah, I mean, I really feel like there is a way you
Bleach.
guys could have.
I don't know any funguses that survive bleach, so
I don't know much about fungus, but okay.
I'm pretty
we
sure
really
it
can't
dies
really survive
with
bleach.
bleach.
Really,
Yeah,
put
actually-
enough on.
Nobody survives bleach, so
Bleach kills everything.
pour bleach on them.
My thing is, they're easy to kill.
Yes,
We've seen that.
You could just shoot them.
They're easy to kill, and I really feel like
They just left them alone.
that you could have basically kind of corral them into a certain location.
Well, I was
Yeah.
saying this about the beginning with them just killing random innocent people, and then they
Yes.
showed later that they were, well, oh, we don't have enough room, just kill all these people
yes,
we
Yeah.
just
corralled together.
absolutely ridiculous.
Because their reasoning was
If they're alive, they can be affected.
Yeah, so a dead person can't be infected.
That's dumb. And it's like quarantine zones. It doesn't, like, all you need, I mean, you have QZs or whatever, but all you need is a quarantine. If you bring people there and you're worried some people are infected, then you keep them in an area for a certain amount of time. It takes let's say we'll do 24 hours so we're safe or whatever.
Yeah.
And then if they don't turn into fungi monster, then
Then they can be released.
they can be released, and then we can build a society instead of killing. Half the people didn't even die to cordyceps.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, right? You bombed cities, and then the leftover people you kill, and it was just like,
What's bombing the city gonna do? Unless it was a nuke, I don't understand what
well,
the
my
bomb
thing
was
is,
gonna
to
do.
get this is like, okay, your first solution was bomb the city. Okay, all right, you did that.
Actually, I feel like people with guns would have been better than a bomb.
Yes,
The army on foot with guns would have been better.
yes, but
at
they
this.
went with the mass. But my thing is, you did that, and then when it was time for you to go back to that solution, when you know where all the infected are, you didn't do it. Like, now's the time for you to start blowing stuff up.
Yeah. Yeah. Because at least you know that where they at.
You knew the reaction
Because
you
the
locked
one
them
thing
in.
you know that they're not at, they're not slowly roaming woods.
Well, my thing is, it's like you locked them inside the mall. Why is the mall still standing there?
Yeah,
Yep.
bury it.
Yeah, bury the mall,
Yep.
right? You locked them up in Kansas City. Why is it still there?
Yep.
Get rid of it.
Yep. Kansas City no longer on the map.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, they're known to be living inside of this building. Then get rid of the building.
Yeah.
There's no logic to this.
Yeah, I feel like this is beatable. Fungus, it's hard. I would definitely say it's
Oh, the initial outbreak is going to be.
that's
Well-
gonna be rough. But
Yeah.
this was definitely,
Especially in this
beatable.
show, since there's no spores.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, it's certainly beatable. But everyone done lost their mind. So, yeah. Just absolutely dumb.
So are humans the real
Yes.
infection?
Humans is the real issue in this society.
Well, we've mentioned it before here. They were more dangerous than the infected.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my thing is, the only issue I have with Joel is that he lied.
Yeah. Well, at the end of it,
Yeah.
she
And to me, it's obvious that Ellie doesn't believe him.
Right.
But I figure that she probably thinking that whatever he did, he must have did to protect her.
Mm-hmm.
But him lying about it changes their relationship.
It
Yeah.
does.
I thought that too. I was like,
And
why is she
I
lying?
think because of all of what Ellie went through, she would have okayed it.
Oh,
but
well,
it was still dumb. So no.
yeah, but you're
Yeah,
right. Like she
but
even
she would
said
have
it
still
that
went with it.
she wanted all of that to mean something.
Yeah.
Everyone dying, tests and Sam and all. She
Yeah.
wanted it. She would have said yes, absolutely. She
Yeah.
would have.
So
But my
by
thing
him
is,
lying,
well, it didn't
it
matter.
takes it away from her.
He killed everybody. So even
Yeah.
if she's like, "Oh, let's go back," you can't because I killed everyone. So
Right.
sorry.
Yeah.
But my thing is y'all didn't even bother to ask, right?
Yeah, that's another thing with the Fireflies. Oh, we didn't tell her. I'm like, why didn't you tell? Because when Joel said it's not up to you, and she's like, not up to you either. Yeah, it was up to Ellie, who
Yeah.
you didn't inform.
Yeah, exactly.
No one asked her.
No one asked her, and like, yeah, she would have said yes. You knew that before they even got there.
But
Right?
and then again, is Joel wrong because she didn't have a chance to make that decision? You could say like, oh, she would have.
No,
but,
he's
you know,
not wrong.
He's
at
not
all.
wrong in that aspect. No.
No, he's not wrong because no, he didn't go because at that point is he has to go get her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? She's not in a position to say yay or nay now. You already strapped her to the table. He
Mm-hmm.
has to go get her. So my thing is he shouldn't have lied about what he did.
Yeah.
But my thing is that when the firefighters grab them at the hospital, tell them your plan. Right? But they're like so desperate and sneaky and underhanded. They didn't want that. Right? Because you think about it, Marlene's crew, they're saying that they were getting ready to turn on her because she wasn't delivering anything.
Right.
Right.
I just delivered to you a girl who's immune. Whether it works or not, she accomplished her mission.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it already proves that she doesn't really love Ellie, right?
No.
Right? Like, she took the girl. She didn't raise Ellie. She didn't take care of her. She dumped her on Fedra.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then she only showed back up after Ellie got attacked.
Yeah.
Right? And then she hires Joel to bring her to them. And then I was like, well, if you managed to make it to the hospital, then you could have brought her.
I thought of that.
That was my first thought.
When Marlene was there, I'm like, yo, so you couldn't take Ellie?
But then
there,
that
man?
requires her to take care of Ellie while they make that trek.
And she didn't want to.
Dump her on Joel. See if they make it. Right? They've been going a year. They might not make it.
Yeah.
You had no idea if they were going to show up or not.
Yeah. That's when I thought, like, what made me say that Marlene didn't care about her is because there's too many unknown variables for Joel to get her there.
Mm-hmm.
And if he was so concerned, she was so concerned about them getting there. Like, Joel went to look for Tommy. She could have been like, okay, let me look for them. It's been so long.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to bring her. She didn't care. No.
No. Ellie was just a solution to her problem.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
But yeah, no one gave Ellie a chance to give a choice.
Yeah.
And I feel like still, even afterwards, by him lying to her, he still didn't give her a choice.
Yeah, he shouldn't have lied.
Because if he tells her the truth and then she was like, no, we need to go back, then he like, I'm sorry.
well,
I killed everybody.
if
We
he
can't
tells
go
her
back.
the truth, that gives them a chance to find a real doctor.
Yes.
Because
That's also
now
true.
she's immune, but she got to keep it to herself.
Yeah.
Right? You tell her the truth. I don't trust the Fireflies. And I thought, like, yo, what they
Yeah.
were doing underhanded. But if you really want to help,
Mm-hmm.
we can
Honestly,
find someone that can
Tommy's
help you.
Little group, and like, let's see who they have and what.
Yeah.
You know.
Like,
Mhm.
just reach
Or
out.
have them try to find somebody.
There has to be a fungi, somebody or another. I do not know what you call doctors who study fungus. There has to be one of those people around still.
Or even a biologist,
So-
somebody. I mean, there's a lot of doctors and scientists that died in this.
So my thing is tell her the truth and come up with another plan because
Yeah.
she wants to help. She
Yes.
wants all of this nonsense, everything that she went through. She went through so much. By the time the show was over, she's not an innocent little kid anymore. Like what she did to David rightly showed. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like that killed the last little bit of childness that she had. Her last bit of innocence was gone.
Yeah. Okay. So with David, I was like, stop, Ellie, please. I'm like, it's,
But just so much. I feel like everything all comes to a head at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it's just she loses it. And then afterwards, she's not her normal self, right? Joel's trying to get her out of this funk, right? And it sits down because now he's like, he doesn't know how to help her.
Mm-hmm.
right? She's not that annoying little kid with the dumb jokes anymore, who gets excited by Chef Boyardee and all of that anymore.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like all of that is gone. So it's just like, hey, so yes, she would have been disappointed what happened with the fireflies, but he should have. But see, I feel like now he's afraid of what's going to happen to her.
Yeah.
Like, tell her the truth. She's going to want to help in any way she can. Let her help. Short of chopping her head off or her brain.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they definitely gonna come after them now.
Man, forget the fireflies.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all right. So that was the gist of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there will be a season 2, obviously.
Is that going to be part 2?
Yes.
It will be part 2. I believe they said they're going to split up into 2 seasons at least. Makes
Okay.
sense. There's a lot. I'm not a
Now I haven't
fan
played
of the
part 2.
story of part 2.
I don't know. I
heard
don't even know what
people-
part 2 is
I
about.
heard it was kind of torn. People liked it, and other people didn't like it.
I'm not a fan. I can't say because I don't want to spoil anything.
Okay. But I did hear that when they announced that it is going to be based off of that people who did not like part 2 the game,
Mm-hmm.
they are upset that they're still going with the game for the next 2 seasons. But I'm like, is the
I feel
game
like they have
adaptation?
to, yeah.
They have to look.
Yeah.
This show
They want to
isn't-
change. They want
It's
to
not
change
a
it.
long running show.
No,
So basically,
no, because after 3 seasons,
That's it.
they will have to make up something for it to keep going.
Yeah, and honestly, they shouldn't. If the second season is part 2,
Mm-hmm.
and the third season is the second half of part 2,
Mm-hmm.
don't make anything up. I mean, unless I don't know, I can't see. It's like I can't talk
Oh
about
yeah,
it well
yeah. You
without
can't
saying what's
but-
happening.
Yeah, I haven't played part 2, or I don't know anything about part 2.
But it's just no, just leave it be. I get what people are saying, like don't follow the game, just follow the game.
But I mean,
you know how
it's
it ends.
a game adaptation show, and we see with this first season that they're following the game.
Yeah.
You know, so and I applaud them, and I want other people who have game adaptations ideas. It was already a good story. So like if the game made a lot of money on the way it was, just leave it the way it was. Expound on some small things that wasn't brought out in the game, but do that. Like now that I have seen The Last of Us,
Mm-hmm.
I want Metal Gear Solid to be like the game.
Yeah, we have heard they were making that, right?
Yeah.
They keep saying that. Haven't they been talking about that for years?
It could be good. But that's going to be a movie and not a show, so I don't know.
I know, but
It
like
can work as a movie. It's not as
it can work, yeah.
like The Last of Us makes more sense as a show
Yeah, because you
than a
need to
movie.
get
'Cause in
that
a
character
movie,
development.
Yeah.
Like, what do you cut out in a movie, right? You
Yeah.
got to cram all this into a 2-hour
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. You skip a lot in the
You
movie.
skip it.
No,
a lot.
you make what you do for the movies. You make each section a movie. So each antagonist is his own movie. You get
Oh, you make it into
Oh.
a
you get
trilogy.
Kathleen.
You make it
then
into a
you
trilogy.
Get, then you get David, and then you get
The Fireflies at the end.
the Fireflies. Yeah.
I like it being a TV show better.
I do
still.
too.
I mean, yes, I think better as a
Now
TV
that I'm
show.
thinking about it, I kind of want Metal Gear Solid to be a TV show.
They
I
never
know
do
it's just
well
Snake.
with.
I don't think we really need like.
They never do well with TV
Well,
shows.
because I
that's
feel
supposed
like
to
in the
be
movie,
spies.
like they gonna throw like half the villains in the movie.
No, one movie is one game. The
You know
first.
how many villains is in
Yeah,
the
there's
first
a ton of
game?
villains in there.
Oh, that's right.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, and I hate when they do that.
But you
It
can't.
could be a show. I guess it's the point.
But my thing is, shows don't never do these type of like spies and soldiers and stuff. Shows don't never do that right.
They don't do right with the movies either. That's why I'm
There's a
kind
bunch
of.
of good spy movies.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
We're gonna rate this season.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh. What do I rate it? Oh man. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not sure. I'm gonna put it in between. I pay for that and best show ever. I think it's a pretty decent show. Um, it's pretty well put together. I don't have a lot of complaints about it.
I don't have any. I mean, we talk about people logic, which is just a game logic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's fine. I don't really have any faults. Like, I don't think there was a single episode that I watched where I felt like, man, I wish I didn't watch that.
Mhm.
Right.
And it's like I had to watch a lot of the show in the last week or so we can do this podcast. And it was like I didn't mind it at all.
Yeah.
So, man, I hardly ever rate anything like best show ever, but
I don't think we've actually given that rating
it
out.
seems so high.
Yeah.
But I have no
Because
faults
did
with
we
this
do
show.
that for WandaVision?
No,
No,
'cause we
I
didn't
think
rate-
I think
no.
We
I
didn't
think
rate it.
We didn't rate WandaVision.
Hmm.
I'm gonna give it best show ever. I really have no faults with this.
I'm also going to give it best show ever. Like each episode ended with me wanting to watch the next episode, and out of new shows that have came out since the pandemic, I will say that has kept my attention would be this show, The Mandalorian, WandaVision, and Loki. Everything else, I didn't even have to watch.
I mean, of all the shows we've have reviewed on this, I think I've enjoyed this the most.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
Yes.
pretty good. Did a good job of making me care for people. And I'm like, ah,
That was gonna die anyway.
I don't like that. Why you gotta do that? Why you gotta put a bunch of sad stuff throughout your? I'm tired now watching your sad things. Last of Us.
Everything was like,
And the
even,
thing is, it's the same people that die in the game.
yeah, even like I was thinking like the last scene when Joel is murdering people in the hospital, like the music that they were playing,
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was interesting. Like they went with like a sad note
Yeah.
and not like an upbeat. This is your action scene.
Well, because this is what you work towards for the entire season, right?
Yeah.
And now it's not happening, right?
Yeah.
So it is even though he's saving her, it is.
Yeah, it's
it
like
is sad.
it's that, and then I also think it's kind of like this is what you pushed me to.
Yeah.
Like this is not something I want to do, more like something I have to do.
I felt like that playing the game
Mm-hmm.
because it was like you get the idea that okay, once you get her there,
Yeah.
that's the end of the game.
Right.
And then it's like there's more dialogue, and it's just like I have to save her.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, wait, what? So
Yeah.
then I'm just like, wait, so this is how it ends? And it's like, yes, and how the game ends, that's how the show ends. And it's like, I remember beating the game, not having that I beat the game feeling. Like, I beat the game and sat there like,
It's like when you left the theater after Infinity War.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like, wait, so there's not a cure for them.
Yeah. They said a lot of people left kind of like torn, like, oh man, this is messed up.
Yeah.
So yeah, which
Yeah.
to me says a lot about the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I do feel like we ranked it a kind of high, but it rightfully so. I
I can
enjoyed
rewatch
It's
it
not,
knowing that I know the results.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched the whole show knowing what was going to happen. Like nothing in me watching the show, nothing happened surprised me. I knew everything that was going to happen. I knew that his brother was going to turn and he was going to have to kill his brother because it happened in the game. I knew he was going to go and save Ellie at the end because that happens in the game. So it was like none of that surprised me.
Mm-hmm.
But it was still entertaining to watch.
So overall, good show. Great
Yeah.
job, HBO. HBO's doing a pretty good job with the.
Unlike
Yeah.
the
They
mother
have a-
streaming services.
They have a numerous of decent shows.
I don't really like their other shows.
I don't know. You watched the Flight Attendant, didn't you?
I didn't like the second season.
I didn't watch the second.
I
Season.
didn't watch the second.
I watched
season.
I only watched the first one.
Yeah, I liked the first season. I didn't like the second season.
But yeah, okay. Well, that's our thoughts on The Last of Us season 1. I guess we'll be returning for season 2
Mm-hmm.
later on. We'll see how it does.
Oh.
What did you think about it? What did you think the Fireflies were stupid and their idea wouldn't work? Let us know in the comments below. Of course, leave a like, subscribe for more movie content, and we will always catch you next time.